Welcome to T1 Academy. On our channel, we are on the road to the IELTS. It's a free resource class for all those who aim to score a band 9 in the IELTS examination. In our series of videos, we are looking at the ways we can crack the IELTS examination. We're looking at the different skills that are tested and the nuances of how to crack them in the given time period. As part of the same, in today's session, let us look at the spoken skills segment of the IELTS examination. Now, as we all know, there are 3 tasks in the spoken skills segment. Now, this one is a face-to-face communication, and many applicants who take the IELTS examination or the speaking test consider this section to be the most difficult. The spoken section is considered the toughest section by most of the aspirants who aim to crack the IELTS. But let me tell you, aspirants, it's damn easy to score a band 9 in speaking as well. But how would be the question? Because interviews are always impromptu. The interviews round of the IELTS examination is quite impromptu. The next round, that is your long run based on your cue card, and the topic that is given to you is also impromptu, because all you're given is 1 minute of preparation and 3 minutes of speaking time. In addition, you also feel that you are anxious, you're nervous, and you simply won't have enough time to prepare for the given cue card, is the response that we get from most of the speakers. On Tone Academy, let's make it very, very easy for you. Now, speaking interviews do not happen on the spur of the moment. However, all exam takers, please understand, are tense and have little time to prepare their responses. Examiners are accustomed to seeing anxious aspirants, so you don't have to worry about being nervous. Rather, even less, they would anticipate that you would provide replies which are well organized and coherent. So here your sole aim is to use a variety of terminology, to be clear and speak without any hesitation or holdbacks. Check your grammar, ensure that you speak grammatically correct sentences, and also ensure that you pronounce your words in the right way. Please understand that the examiners do not anticipate you to be extremely fluent with the language, but at the same time, they do know that these are the skills that they are checking for. A variety of words that you're going to use as part of the conversation. Also, that you speak with proper clarity, without any hesitation, without holding yourself back, and also with the right pronunciation with grammatically correct sentences. That's the only thing that the examiner is looking for. Now, here are 10 tips that we at Tone Academy would like to give you in order for you to score a band 8 or more on your speaking tests, on your speaking skills. Now, the first and the foremost thing is confidence. You know, if you're confident, half your battle is always won. So be lucid in your thinking, be free, and be confident. The next is practice responding to sample inquiries. Always practice speaking. Speak as much as you can. So therefore, IELTS speaking exam questions, take as many of them as possible before you go for the test. And we at Tone Academy are providing all such things on our channel free of cost, and the guidance as well comes to you. The expert guidance, as they say. You'll be astonished as to how easy it is to answer those questions and solve all of the practice tests. You simply acquire the necessary language and comprehend the questions that you are asked, and that solves all your problems. Now, if the need be, you can always ask for the question once again. So if you feel that there is a need for you to clearly understand, or you need a clarity or a verification, always reach out to your examiner and ask for them to repeat it. Please note that asking your examiner is not going to result in any kind of deduction of points or negative marking. The next one is be sentimental. As they always say, sentiments and emotions take you a long way. So be emotional, speak from your heart. Don't speak for the sake of speaking it and finishing it off there itself, okay? Make your speech longer. Make any and all efforts it takes to ensure that you speak for 3 full minutes. And when you're speaking, ensure you're speaking grammatically correct. You use the right intonation of your voice, speak with the right accent, and be coherent in your thoughts. For example, if your examiner asks you, do you participate in sports? Don't give a direct answer at all times that yes. One-word answers are supposed to be discouragingly discouraged. So never say yes or no, whatever, either ways, whatever your opinion might be. Ensure that you speak 3 or 4 sentences pertaining to that topic, connected to that topic. For example, I'm not a fan of sports. Okay, you continue from there. I don't like to be extremely active and I never loved physical exercise in school. But I prefer to engage in cerebral games. And those people who play mental games, you know, instead of saying mental games, you use the word cerebral. So there you use a better word. These games, for instance, I find chess really fascinating. So that would be one way of responding to the questions. Now the next one, most important point that everybody needs to note is to be logical when you answer. Employ tying phrases and structures. However, all in all and moreover are some examples of words and phrases that you can use and that which will improve your speech. However, nonetheless, okay, all in all, at the end of the day, these are the kind of phrases that you're expected to use to show that your vocabulary is fully enriched. Now, allow yourself some time to reflect. Never be in a hurry. Use this advice to give yourself a little more time to think that if you're not sure on how and where to respond and how to start. To start off, you may respond with something like, it's a tough subject. I've never thought about that before. Or you can also say, that's a fascinating question. That's an interesting one. Okay. You'll have more time to prepare your response if you do it this way. Now, the query can alternately also be rephrased. What book did you enjoy the most when you were young? You can say, what book did I enjoy the most as a young person? Let me see. You know, this, when you say, let me see, that gives you a little time to frame your answer. Okay? Made an error? Do not worry. Even if you make an error while you speak, don't worry. Don't reflect on that error and don't waste your time by reflecting there because you'll stagnate, you'll stop there. The point here is to be lucid and fluid enough to keep moving forward. So make every effort to fix yourself without jerking. Continue speaking. And even if you're having trouble, you may just lose out on some points, but don't worry. Keep continuing. Keep talking. Now create a favorable impression. Ensure that you're neatly dressed, that you look good and you smell wonderful. Be assured, always remember, first impression is the best impression. However, it's not crucial though, but then it will surely take you a long way. Now, last but not the least, do not memorize the answers. Examiners can tell naturally whether you're speaking right from your heart or you've come prepared for a particular speech on a particular topic. So don't do that. Don't give your examiner a chance to point you out and tell you that you've come prepared or rehearsed for the interview. Appear to be answering impromptu or on the spot, and that will allow you to score more marks. Let's look at a certain example. An example of travel and vacation or holidays, like what was your recent vacation? Where do you like to go and spend your days? Such kind of a question. So let's see. This is part 1, wherein this is an interview. So let's see what are the kind of questions that can be plausibly posed. Do you like going on trips or do you enjoy going on trips? So obvious answer is either a yes or a no. Like I told you, the cue is do not use only a yes or a no. Talk elaborately. Talk about 2 or 3 sentences on that particular question. Here the reply comes as definitely yes. Life is all about experiencing the world, from magnificent historical sites to fine sand beaches. In my opinion, it's a really fascinating method to discover different places and cultures. Whether you agree or not, most of the times going on a vacation is a learning experience. So that's what. So then the examiner asks, what kind of a vacation is your favorite? Like the answer should be, I enjoy getting away from all of it by visiting the countryside. Instead of using I like to go back to my village, using the word countryside will fetch you better marks. The wilderness, the forest, the greenery truly soothes my soul. It's quite calming and, is quite, helps me unwind better. Okay, I frequently venture off the beaten path because I'm sick of tourist traps. So I don't want to go to places which are crowded with tourists. I prefer secluded spots. So I cut off from the world and, I venture to the off-beaten path. Nobody goes there, those kind of places. Now, what do you do when you go on a vacation? Oh, I relax. Usually, most of us say that, but that's not the way we're supposed to say it. I enjoy going to different museums and tourist attractions. For instance, I visited 12 museums in Rome during my most recent travel. If it is not Rome, you can write any other place's name, wherever you've been, okay? You can say out any other place's name. It was wonderful. Of course, there were instances when I go shopping. Now, do not say when I go for shopping. You don't go for shopping, you go shopping. Shopping is for buying things, so never use for with shopping. Now, when I go shopping with friends or family as well, but it's not as nearly as interesting me than my visits to museums and tourist destinations. Do many tourists come from your country? Most definitely yes, obviously. Okay. Different tourist attractions may be found throughout my nation's cities, particularly the capital. For instance, my nation has long-standing religious customs. Because of this, there are numerous historical cathedrals and churches in our area, or you can say temples in our area, that are attractive to both tourists as well as the residents. Now, that was the first part. That was your introduction, questions on your lifestyle, the way you spend your vacation. All right. Now they have given you a cue card to get your monologue ready. This is more or less like your extempore. That is the second segment of your spoken skills. Now, describe a tourist destination you've been to in the past. You ought to say when you went there, what location was it in, and with whom you went, and describe what you liked the most about it. You already have the clues. Okay, you have the clue card and you're supposed to expand on each one of these. You're expected to expand on each one of these cues that are given to you, and that makes you speak for 2 or more than 2 minutes. Now, what could be the ideal answer? I recently traveled to Paris with my parents for a vacation. So he said, what did he ask? He said, describe a tourist destination. You ought to say when you went and whom you went with. Okay, what location did you go, and describe what. So he said he has gone to Rome with his parents. Now, given that it contains so many attractions, that is Paris, including historical museums, what are the places that he has gone, okay, and monuments, it is a very popular tourist destination. This explains why there were countless tourists everywhere. Now, describing the place. So we decided to travel during the off-season. When did they go? During the off-season, during fall. It was a remarkable vacation because the weather was fantastic and we did not waste any time watching TV at the hotel. We dined at quaint little restaurants while taking in the breath-blowing vistas from top of the Eiffel Tower. Paris is a beautiful city and I would definitely suggest going there. So he has answered all the cues that were given in the cue card. Let's see what were the cues once again. The cues given was describe a tourist destination that you visited in the past. You ought to cover points like when you went there. So they have gone during the fall season, that is the off season. What location was it in? They've gone to Rome, France. With whom did you go there? I went with my parents. And describe what you felt that you liked the most about it. So he's already told you it is a remarkable vacation because the weather was fantastic. So they didn't sit back in the hotel and watch TV and waste time. They dined at quaint little restaurants, taking in breath-blowing vistas, the views from atop of the Eiffel Tower. That was his favorite thing. And Paris is definitely a beautiful city and I would surely suggest everyone to visit this, he says. So all the points have been covered, all the points that were there in the cue card. Now, part 3 will be an exchange of dialogue between the aspirant and the examiner based on questions posed based on task 2. Now, why do you think tourism has grown so much recently? You spoke about your favorite vacational spot. You also spoke about a place that you visited recently. Now, the examiners ask you, why do you think tourism has grown so much? Well, simply because traveling has become much simpler now. You don't have to spend a lot of money on traveling because you choose charter flights and discover a variety of youth hostels all around the world. Because earlier, people, when they did not know anybody at a particular place, they hesitated to go. But now you have a lot of hostels, hotels, PGs that you can move into. Additionally, you don't need to leave your house because you can plan a trip online. So you don't have to visit a travel agent who will give you an itinerary, who will give you the time limits. When you feel like going out on a vacation, you go out on a vacation. You may go in during the season, you may go during the off season as well. Now, How do people decide where to go? So how do people zero in on places where they can visit? Now there are numerous options. For example, you can browse the internet and find all the information that you need. Alternatively, you can go to travel agents for guidance. It's not mentioned here, but you can also check with your friends, relatives, and in your social circle as to what places they have visited, which is the most accommodative place. You can plan it according to your budget as well. So those points also can be added. Now, which mode of transport do you favor while you're on a vacation and why, he says. It varies. I typically take a plane to get to my vacation spot since that is the quickest means of transport and the safest method as well. But flying can occasionally be uncomfortable. Not everybody is made for flying, right? So occasionally I also take the train. However, since I drive every day for work, I never do it while I'm on a vacation because I need a break. Otherwise, I'd be on a busman's vacation because I'd only be driving. Okay, busman's vacation is you just take the people, drop them there, then pick them back and bring them back to the hotel. So it's like that. So that's the reason I don't want to take a busman's vacation. I like to take the trains or public transport when I like to travel. Do you favor solo or group trips and why? Since I enjoy my own travel plans, I absolutely prefer going alone. Some people might say they would like to go on a group tour because they love the company of many people around them. Always adhere to the schedule when selecting a guided tour. That's what I do. Therefore, it is not possible for your extended visit to Taj Mahal by an additional hour while on a group visit when you're in India. While I'm traveling on my own, in this manner, I'm able to visit all of the stops and I do choose whatever I want to and take my time everywhere I go. So if I want to spend a little extra time in some museum or some monument or some historical place of importance that I visit, if I am there in a group tour, I have to adhere to the time schedules. Whereas if I go on a solo trip, I might spend extra time somewhere and I might cut down on my time elsewhere and I can stick to my own schedules of time, he says. Now, that, my dear friends, was the spoken skills segments 1, 2 and 3. In the future videos, we're also going to look at the other skills that are part of the IELTS examination. So do follow the series for more and to be able to crack your IELTS in the very first attempt with a very good band score. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe to Tone Academy.